Hello everybody, I wanted to make a super fast tutorial on how we can recreate some 3D text styles using Cinema 4D and Premiere. So if you've ever seen text like this before and want to recreate it, maybe you've tried a few things. You could come in here, try a stroke. Another thing you could have done is tried a shadow. And as you can see, this is a lot closer, but there's one problem, these little gaps. So in Cinema 4D, let's create a new text spline. Let's now input in our text box. We can make this Moab, Utah, click out of it so it applies. Change the font to whatever font we want. And in my case, I'm gonna be using the Frizz Quadrata Quentin Tarantino font, but we need to make it 3D. So we're just gonna add a extrude NURB and put our text spline into the extrude. What we want to do is put some color into it. Let's first go real quick and change our comp settings to 3840 by 2160 is what I like to do. And I like to lock the ratio and then boost that up to 5000 just so we have a little flexibility if we wanted to enlarge it in a 4K comp in Premiere. And we can always decrease the size without losing quality. And then for save, we can just name this Moab title, and a TIFF at 8-bit is fine, but we just need to make sure we have alpha channel and straight alpha so that the alpha is a part of the image. Now we want to apply materials. So Shift F2, create a new standard material, go into our material, and we can change this to any color we want. And what we want to do is uncheck color and reflectance and only have luminance. And when we drag it on, you can see it is a straight, it just gives us straight color, and that's what we're going for. We don't want it to be shaded at all. Unless you want it to be shaded, then you can feel free to experiment with that. So you make yourself a couple of colors. So I just imported these two base colors you see, just luminance colors. And these are some similar colors to the Pulp Fiction title that I had there. And now we can apply a base color, whatever we want the 3D side of the text to have, we can apply that as the base color. So we can make that red. We just want the face on this side to be a different color. So what we can do is select, well, actually, we need to make this a editable object. Select the object, and now we just want to select all these faces on the side. So we can use the rectangle selection tool and just select all these faces on the side. And once those are selected, we can drag in our other color. And now we already got our title going, and we got a 3D effect on it. The problem is we do not want the camera to be in perspective. So we want to create a camera. We'll go into the camera so we can see the changes. Change the projection to parallel, and now you can see everything is lined up with the camera. Everything is uniform, and there's no perspective. There's no perspective effects doing it this way. But now we want to just zero out the rotation. And as you see, once we do that, we just have the flat text. Pretty much line it up kind of close to what we're going for. And again, we got plenty of room to work with, so you can make it big. Just make sure you don't clip it out. We can move it around later, or you can make it small if you know it's going to be really small when you put it in Premiere. For now, we can just make it like this big, for example. Come out of our parallel camera so we can see what's going on, and then we just want to again select faces, but this time the back faces. And now if we go into our camera and start moving them down or up, you can see that we start getting the effect that we're going for, which is to have that true 3D effect instead of a drop shadow effect. And so just to match the Pulp Fiction title, we just drop this down just a little bit, and that's looking pretty good right there. And I think the red here is a little brighter, so I'm just going to brighten up the red. Now we are all ready to render out our image. And so we'll just render the picture viewer. And that went super fast. And so now we'll just jump over to Premiere and put it in Premiere. So we jump into Premiere and import our Moab title. And you can see it looks great. The only thing is we want to line it up to be exactly where it should be. And the way I like to do this is, first of all, figure out just where you'd want the title to be. Take off the shadow and everything, and then just line it up. Make sure it's all centered by aligning horizontally, vertically, and making sure if it's center aligned to be center aligned. And at this point, if this is a good size, which to me is looking good, we can view our title we generated in Cinema 4D and start lining it up. What I like to do is change the opacity to 50% and start playing with the scale and everything to get it lined up. We can zoom in so we can see what's going on here. We'll try to get this B lined up and then we'll go from there. Looks like it's probably a little bigger than what we have. So we'll scale it up a little more. Down and then to the right. Okay, so that is really close. We can turn our opacity back up and then we just disable the text that we had back there. So the only thing we have is our new title. That's pretty much it. Just wanted to show how you can generate some 3D text